Okay, fine. So, hello everyone. I welcome all you all for the today's Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador event on the topic GitHub 101. I'm Falguni Sarkar, an Alpha MLSA and a third year undergraduate at Siliguri Institute of Technology. So, we will have an agenda for today's event. First of all, we will let just a minute, I'm getting people. Sorry, I forgot to share the screen. Wait, let me just. Is my screen visible? Do let me know in the chat if my screen is visible. Okay, some people are already also joining for now. I shall start within a minute. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so I'm starting my event again. Some folks join right now. So yeah, let's move forward. Okay, people are joining. Just wait for a few minutes, guys. I will start at 4:40 in case anyone joins again in between. Okay, so it's 4:40. I shall start now. Let me introduce myself again. Hello, everyone. Welcome you all for today's Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador event on the topic GitHub 101. I'm Falguni Sarkar, an Alpha MLSA and a third year undergraduate at Siliguri Institute of Technology. Before we move forward with today's event, I would like to say a few things. First of all, please keep yourself muted for the rest of the event because it might distract and it can hamper your learning progress also. Secondly, if you have any doubts, please feel free to write in the comment or in the chat section. And at the end of the session, we will have a quick round of Q&A with that. Okay. So, and without wasting much time, we will move forward for today's agenda. So, today's agenda will be a short introduction to GitHub, knowing the key features of GitHub. We will look forward to know about GitHub workflow and a small difference between Git and GitHub. We will also know about the GitHub automation, which we do via GitHub Actions and webhooks, and plus some additional resources we can have, which can enhance our productivity while we are in the development environment in GitHub. So, what do you mean by GitHub? GitHub is a development platform that enables you to host and review codes, manage projects, and build software along with the 70 plus million developers. Yes, you heard right. There are more than 70 plus million developers present on GitHub who are constantly developing and releasing amazing software for you all. If we look at GitHub's interface, when you are not logged in your GitHub account, you can see there's a beautiful interface where it says where the world builds software. Yes, this is a place where the people build software and have open source code with you all, where you can collaborate with them and build amazing stuff. As you can see, GitHub itself gives its free introduction to you all. You can see there are around 6 tabs, that is code, collaborate, develop, automate, secure, and community. It itself tells that GitHub is a wholesome place for a developer to collaborate and develop stuff. If we look around the code section, you can see it has an amazing interface showing how they can manage their codes in a repository. When we go through with that, there comes the collaboration. It's not just you, a single person building a software. There can be thousands and thousands of developers working on a single project. And GitHub allows you to collaborate with that. You can have an organization for free on GitHub where you can host the numerous numbers of repositories where a team is working on the different subjects. You can also have a repository where you can add your collaborators and they can work on that. As you can see, they give the better code start with the pull request and the code reviews and everything. Don't worry, we will talk about that later also. It's also that you can see the GitHub also present in your mobile. Yes, you can access GitHub on your iOS and Android devices. You can download them from Play Store and App Store. Along with that, it also gives you amazing development environment with the code space. You can learn about the code space here. It's like you have VS Code in your browser. Along with that, you can automate anything on GitHub. You can use GitHub Actions. We can automate things with webhooks also, but that's just for another thing. But if you want to integrate something which is exclusive for your software and you want it happen in GitHub itself, you just don't have to worry at all. You can just go and check out GitHub Actions. You can learn about that, and I will also discuss about GitHub Actions later too. After that, you can see the secure. Yes, GitHub gives you security base where you can find the advanced security and also find your vulnerabilities before you merge any code in your code base. After that, GitHub loves community and developers have a community. We all are community. MLSA is a community. And you all can collaborate with your community directly on GitHub via discussion tab. You can activate your discussion tab on your repository itself. After that, so it just says make your contribution. Small experiments, inspired inventions, and the software everyone depends on the code you write on GitHub can reach one code base or millions. It just says what it means. Your single contribution have an impact over millions of people. They have some active repositories which is very much famous. These are TensorFlow, Gatsby, Rust, Flutter, Ansible, Swift, Oh my JSS. This is a terminal for Linux. Then we have Facebook React, or you can say Meta. Then there is npm3. So this is what we got from GitHub when we are logged in our account. As I mentioned yesterday also, that before we proceed with the event, we should have a GitHub account so that you can understand what I mean to say. So I'm just closing this tab. Just a minute. Okay, I thought someone is waiting again. Now, if we look around GitHub, the GitHub dashboard that comes up when you are logged in your account. This is the beautiful dashboard you can see on github.com when you are logged in your account. If your account is new, you might find something very unsimilar and you might find your interface in a light mode. GitHub has the features of happy appearance. At first, GitHub used to have only light mode, but I guess around a year back or so, they have released different kind of themes, and this is also supported for the colorblind people also. So as you can see, this is the GitHub dashboard. At the left of your side, here comes your account, where all the activities related to your account, whether you follow someone and they are uh, like forking something or they are starting some repository. All the activities they do, it comes up here. Here comes a repository, where the repositories which are actively you are working on will come up at first, and the least active will come at downside. After that comes your recent activities, which is the issues or the PRE which you have created on GitHub, on any repository or your own repository. The team section is something which is belong to a organization where a team can have repository maintenance for any kind of project or something. After that, you can see all the activities where the people whom you follow. Yes, just like you follow people on or any account on Instagram and their activities shows up on your feed, this is something similar like that. You can think of it as the activity feed where the person whom you follow, their activity comes up. It's not restricted to just posting something. It is having like who someone is for someone's account, repository, someone's repository, someone started following other followers, it comes up like that. After that, this is at your right side is the explore repositories, where you can see the repositories which are shown are either trending or are at the like they are based on your interest. Like if you are always active on developing something on JavaScript or Java, particularly this type of stuff comes out. Like if you are also developing on Python or something, this will come up. This is completely based on your interaction with GitHub. Now, this is something which will give throw you back to your dashboard. This is something here you search anything on GitHub. Like If I want to search something related to Python, I will just type Python. It will, if you just go to all GitHub part, you can see it will just come up showing Python related everything. And you, and there are numbers. You can see the pages and the updated issues or everything which is required. You can see the things related with the Python such as Jupyter Notebook comes up and other programming languages based on which can be correlated with the Python, like found simultaneously with each other can come up. Also, here comes the number of repository codes, commits, everything which is happening for the Python comes up. Now, if you go to your account, that is github.com/your username which you opted while you registered for GitHub, you can see this is the beautiful interface comes up with the overview tab, repositories tab, project tabs, and packages tab. Here you can see I can get an edit button, but if you are opening someone's else account, then you will get a follow button. And if you're following someone and if you want to unfollow, here comes the unfollow. Here you update your location and your organization. It can be like your college or the place you are working at. If it's present on GitHub, you can add the sign of @ and your company's name, and it will be like redirecting to the place of that org, the page of that org. You can add your custom website and your email ID and Twitter account. This is called the README page, and this is profile README. When you open a repository with the name of your username, this comes up. This comes up. Lost Journey /Lost Journey is a special repository. It's a README will appear on your public profile. So this README will appear on my profile, which you have seen just now. So you can customize it as your wish, and I guess on new accounts they have given a custom template like something related to like this on the comments, and you can use it. MD means the markdown file. You can have markdown file and markdown syntax to edit. GitHub do support HTML tags on your markdown file, but when you try to host them on GitHub pages, I will explain what is GitHub pages later, you will find some of the tags break on deployment. You can have your pinned repositories over here, which means the repositories you want to show to the world, and you can easily make them navigate through them. This is the contribution graph. By default, it will come up like this. This is an extension. I forgot what was that. I will let you know later. So this is the contribution graph which you have contributed on GitHub, on any repository or your own repository. The more it's green, the more it means you are contributing. Here comes up the number of organization you are actively contributed or have contributed in past. Here comes up your contribution activity, where any code which you have contributed in public or the private repository can will show up. Um, yeah. So this is the profile navigation. Now, if we talk about these tabs, this is the pull request. The key feature of one of, or you can say one of the most important feature, is the pull request. But before I show you what is pull request, I would like to introduce with the one main thing, which is GitHub repository. And now I will show you a shortcut to open up the page, which you can type. For that, it will open up the create repository page. GitHub.new will open up the page which will be used to create a repository. A repository can be public or private as per your wish. If you have any project which you don't want to show in public for right now, or for whatever time limit, you can make it private or you can have it public. Just like I will make one GitHub 101. My repository will be created as GitHub hyphen 101. GitHub also gives you some kind of suggestion like, hi, I got this over potato, but you can just ignore that. Here comes up the description part, which you can ignore for now, or you can, if you want, you can add, just like I will add MLSA session. You can have a README file, just like profile README, which you just saw right now. You can have a README file at your repository. Now I have created this repository. Here comes up your newly created repository with the start, fork, codes, issues, pull requests, actions, projects, wiki, security, insights, and settings. As you remember from the GitHub itself, it has code, automate, develop, then security things on their panel. You can find some of the things here also. So the first very important feature is the issue feature. Now, what is issue? Issues, as you can see, it's self-defining here on your GitHub repository. Issues are used to track the to-dos, bugs, feature requests, and more. As issues are created, they will be appear here in a searchable and filterable list. To get started, you should create an issue. Basically, issue is something like there is a new software which you are using and its code is public on GitHub. Now you find some bug or any security vulnerability. So you can report here by simply clicking on the new issue and it will just open up a new blank issue template. And you can have a issue template on your GitHub repository, but let's stick to this only. Just like I will write trial, which means I'm just giving a trial issue for my repository. Here I will mention some of the description of the issue which I am facing right now on your software, and here will comes up the preview. Now you, as you all know, it also for your information, it also like supports Markdown, which means any kind of styling you do with Markdown is applicable on this. For example, if you want to add a code of, let's say, hello world. So triple backticks, print hello world, wait, and triple backticks back will show it something like this, which is copyable. You can also specify what language you are using. So if you're using Python, it will show me the color highlights, which shows the syntax highlight. So I'm just submitting this issue, which works nothing. And it will open up an issue on my profile, having giving a description of say hello world. Here will come the tag since I'm the owner, or if someone has collaborated on my repository earlier also, there will be shown collaborator tag or maintainer tag and everything which comes up like that. And any issue is assignable to the 10 people. You just have to comment that I want to work on this issue. If you think you can work and fix the issue, then the owner or the maintainer can assign you here. Then the labels. This is the second most important thing you can say on GitHub, which helps to do any kind of contribution and also helps you to classify your label issues or pull request. So if I look about the labels, you can see here are the default 9 labels with their description is already provided by the GitHub. Bug, documentation, duplicate, enhancement, good first issue, help wanted, invalid, question, won't fix. With a description of saying something is not working or you need the owner needs or the maintainer needs improvement or addition in the documentation. They opened up a session. You think if you can work on that, you can just mention yes I can. They will assign you with that. The duplicate is something like the question which or the issue which you have mentioned on the issues. Since in big repositories like Rocket Chat or any kind of repository which is having thousands of developers and collaborators working on that, you can find out number of issues going around 2.4k, 2.8k something number of. And in that condition, there is a possibility of a issue which is duplicate. It might be possible you are issuing, it might be possible someone else is issuing, but yeah, it can be possible that you issue a duplicate issue. So the maintainer or the owner can add this tag also, and then is the enhancement tag, which means you are requesting someone to add a feature in their software. Also, there is help wanted. There is some kind of good first issue. Good first issue is something as a newcomer in an open source world, it is very much necessary. This is something the owner or the maintainer knows that a newbie can easily fix it. So they assign the issue with that, and you can filter out your issues with this label. There comes the question where you have might describe the issue, and but they are not like understanding what's the problem, and they are asking question, and they have added, or if someone else understands and answer that, it's kind of like that. And won't fix is something which maintainer and maintainer or the owner knows that yeah, it can't be fixed, so stop issuing issues for that. But in future it might get fixed, so yeah. After that, we have this code base where you can see the pull request action projects. Projects is something which is automated by GitHub also, and you can have this manually stuff too. Project board means it might possible you're working in a team and you have a college project. You want to make a list, and pen paper stuff is something which you want to avoid because again and again pen paper stuff you have to share it with your teammates. So better to use project boards. It will help you to sort the task, plan your project, automate your workflow, track progress, share status, and wrap up. So you can have with that. And the wiki is something you can relate this wiki as the Wikipedia of your software. You can add numerous pages defining and describing your software, what your software does, and how it's impacting millions of people. And it's like that. Security is something here comes up with the security policies, and which is advisable by the GitHub or new repository, like they say, is to set up a security policies and set up code scanning and all. These are all automated stuff which we do with GitHub Actions. And the insights is something which you will get once you work on your repository and it gets active. Someone issued something, empty repository. Okay, I haven't added anything. And I won't be adding here anything. It's just for the session. So you can see here all the things which is going on your GitHub repository will work. Here will show the contributors and the community and everything you can add. See here, I said the issue templates and the pull request templates can be added. If your code is open source, you can add a code of conduct and a contributing guidelines showing how you want your collaborator to contribute on your repository. Choosing a license makes your software like usable. Like some people make it open so that you can use it, edit it, and there are many things. Settings is something which is most vulnerable point of your repository. So here comes up the social preview. If you give the link of your repository and it's embedded somewhere, you will see a basic default showing up your photo and your repository name with the number of stars comes up. But if you add some kind of image instead of that, that
Excuse me, you're on mute.
hello.
Now you're audible.
Oh, okay. How much I have done? Anyone can tell me?
Just give 5-10 seconds.
Oh, 10 seconds. Okay, okay. Can you tell me where I was at last? Um,
It was the showcase.
Showcase or
Yeah, the
like
so social
settings?
preview. Social.
Social
Yeah,
preview.
yeah.
Okay, social. Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, sorry. I don't know why this is happening. I'm getting mute again and again. So yeah, I was saying that if you share your link with someone on any place where they have this, or you can think about Discord, which is most popular right now using chat platform with the community. So when you share your link, repository link with there, you can see a default preview of your social media of the repository, but you can customize it by giving their image specification for the best display, and you can get your desired um, template. Then you can have these features where we can have wiki issues thing uh, removable, because if you're working in a project which is solely for your purpose and you don't want any kind of issues coming, or you don't want to have any kind of wikis and all, you can just remove it from here. Here comes the sponsorship tags. This basically comes up with the huge, you can say, open source repositories or the softwares where the collaborators or the maintainers or the owner wants to have a sponsorship with the people who are using their, and it's completely like up to you whether you want to sponsor the stuff or not. And to be very honest, GitHub is doing amazing work in that, because they charge 0% fees on sponsorship. They have their sponsorship button on profile itself if you're working on open source very much from a very long time, and you can add the sponsorship on a particular repository too. You can have this project board. Project board is something which you will find two places: at your profile tab and at your repository tab. So what you can do is, if you want to restrict the project board to your repository, you can directly use it from here. And if you want to show, like, make people go to your project board directly when they come up to your um, profile, so you can have that link repository stuff, and it will be there. So there's merge button and something, and then there's archives and automatically delete. These are something which is related with the merging, and I will come up later with that. And this is come the GitHub pages. On GitHub pages, you can host your static websites, which is built on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can say, or you can go with the README pages, which is appearing on your repository. But let me tell you one thing: Git README profile, the Git README files are there. Basically, you can use HTML tags for that, but when you try to host them on GitHub pages, it will break down. So if you want to host your README profile, like README page, as a dedicated static website, so I would recommend to use Markdown syntax only, so that it won't break. Here comes the danger zone, where you can, it might be possible there is something you are working on and it's public, but you want to make it now low profile and keep it private. So you can change visibility. You can transfer the ownership. Sometimes it happens that you're working on a project, you built it, it worked so well, so that you just got someone investor, or you can get someone who wants to buy your software and give you money. So you can transfer the ownership with that. You can archive this repository, means the repository which is no longer on work, but you want to keep it on your GitHub so that people can see, yes, yes, you have seen something on this is something you have worked on past. And delete means you do just want to delete your repository. This is the settings tab, which required. Now we can talk about the code base. Here comes the code base, where different kind of code you will be putting via add or create. And also with Git, before I talk about Git, let me tell you one thing about Git and GitHub. We use Git and GitHub simultaneously, but this is and most of the people just think Git and GitHub are the same thing. As Git is on your local and GitHub is on a like on browser and something. You think it is partially correct, but if I talk about Git particularly, it's a distributed version control system. This helps you to work on the remote repository and sorry, it helps to work on the local device, like whatever repository. If you can just think of this repository you want to work on, you can simply uh, if you are the owner, then you can simply download like clone it in your local, and Git will help you to get the control, complete control over that. And there are the key features which Git gives you is the installed and used on your local machine, handles version control, supports branching. Branching is something you can think of that later, like I will tell you later on. And GitHub, if you talk about GitHub, GitHub is cloud platform which uses Git as its core technology. So you can see when we talk about Git and GitHub simultaneously, it's actually GitHub which is using Git as its core technology, and it just not gives you Git as its core technology. It gives you so many things out of the box, where which makes your and other developers' life very easy. It provides your website and some of the command tools. You along with Git now, GitHub is also having its own command line, which they rolled out recently. Like it's been a year or so, and yeah, this is the difference between Git and GitHub. So if we now, it might be possible might be working on someone's else repository, and you need to do some kind of changes. But just a minute. But it might be possible that you are not the collaborator, because no working if you want to contribute in some of the big open source repositories, they won't give you maintainer position in their repository, but you want to contribute in that. So how will you do that? So this is what we talk about, is the cloning and forking. Since this is my account and I can't fork my own repository, but I can fork someone else's repository with this button. And after forking, you can simply get that forked repository in your local device and do all the things and push the changes. Now, what you do, the changes is called the commits. Commits are the changes which you make, and after that making the changes, you might see that you have made the change, but you want to share that with the uh, maintainer or the collaborator. Like you want them to know that you have made these changes, and you want to merge them in their code base. So basically you will do is the pull request, and pull request will allow it's a notification that someone like you is trying to make a change in their code base, and it's only up to the maintainer or the owner that they will allow that changes or not. And first of all, making changes doesn't need to be spammy. Don't make spam changes, because it just makes maintainers and owners frustrated, and their work hampers their time. Secondly, whenever you are trying to work on someone else's repository, please make sure you are checking out their issues and working on that only when you are assigned. When you are assigned, or if someone is assigned to an issue, they will appear here. Wait, let me just show a big repository for you all. Um, I guess there is no issue right now going on with the meeting.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So, yeah. So yeah, this is something a big repository, which I mean to say. Rocket Chat is one of the organization which is being selected in GSOC from 2017, and as you can see, this is such a huge code base, which is something needs months and months to understand. And you can see it's not just having one or two contributors, but around 700 plus contributors. As I was saying, that issues which can get across 2000, you can see there comes the label tag, and there is the pull request is from the people who wants to fix a issue. You can see million daily hundreds or tens or people just make issues on their repository, and I opened one issue also where it says can't produce, but it can be produced. I've mentioned that. But in big repositories, don't expect to get your answers quickly because they are working on a lot of stuff and you just have to wait for that. Yeah. So here comes that I was saying about the labels at that time was that here is the filter by label as, and I was also saying about that good first issue label. I guess here they don't have that good first issue label. Any issue worked on that? Yeah, see, this is something good first issue label, and I, yeah, there was nothing in there for the newcomers and unlabeled. And you can see the projects. This is something milestone projects connected with each other, and this is the automation part of that project. And this is the milestone. Yeah, I'm sorry. The project was here, and the milestone was here. Milestone is something you can think of it as long term or a short term process, and yeah, there's something which is with the maintainers or the owners. Here comes the assignees first. But if you like, let's say if you're going with the issue having UI UX problem on there. Oh God, this is so huge. I have to search it again. UI. UI. See, if the subject is UI UX, you can see you can filter them out like this, and this is comes the assignees part where you can see this person is assigned to this uh, issue. It might be possible they have opened that, but it might be someone else is open and this person said I can fix it, and they were assigned, and there's one pull request assigned with that. That means that person forked the repository, create a branch, made their changes, and created a pull request to merge their changes in this code base. There comes this comment section saying how much conversation have taken place in this issues. Fine. So I was saying about the pull request. So this is how a pull request opens up. As you can see, there are some of the pull requests getting labels automatically. There are some pull requests having green ticks, some pull requests having that yellow dots, and so on. These are all the automated stuff which we do via GitHub Actions. You can find all the GitHub Actions mentioned in the repository with the folder name .github/workflows. I will get that to the part very soon. After that, you can see this tick means the actions which was performed on a particular pull request satisfied. That means everything was all right. It might be there was something, there's a cross, that means something happened and the action didn't work properly or it just failed. It might be possible when you are doing some kind of documentation and it's perfectly all right, maintainers will check that. It happens when there is some kind of deployment is there and it needs the approval of a reviewer. If you check that, uh, wait, see, this shows the issues. That means it shows the issues which is fixed and review required. That means unless the reviewer is not review, maintainer or owner is not giving a review or something approval, it will not work and the merging is blocked. And writing this type of stuff like fix, closes, fixed shows that you have linked the issues successfully, and after, like if they merge this PR after everything is all right, this will close this all issues from their code base. That means if this issue like this issue is linked with this, In case is if this issue gets merged, it will close all the three mentioned issues. Now, the things I was talking about is the branches. Is you can see their develop is the main branch. You can change your default branch name, and there are so many branches working on their code base, and there are lots and lots and lots of branches there. Everything on your main branch is deployable, and anything other than main branch is something you can deploy, and it might possibly not be deployable. So see, they have so many branches for different stuff, and it's recommended whenever you fork someone's repository and want to work on their repository, create a branch from their default branch. For example, develop is their default branch, and it will just create a new branch from here. You can write here and it will just create one. So this is it. Now, since I have told you all the key features along with the GitHub flow, still I will make you understand what is all the GitHub flow. So GitHub has given their guide, which is very beautifully documented, and you can, if you go through with this, you can easily understand what how GitHub works. So it just says GitHub Flow is a lightweight branch-based workflow that supports team and projects where deployments are made regularly. These guides explain how and why GitHub Flows works. So see, as I told, after forking someone's repository, you create a branch. Okay, so it says, as you can see, the main branch is the you can don't affect the main branch, as I said earlier too. Uh, so keep your experiments and everything within a branch you create from the main branch. After creating a branch, you add your commits. It can be one changes or two changes or multiple changes. It can get over 100 of changes too. After this, just you create a PR. That is, you want to initiate discussion with your commits. You want them to know that you have committed you have made some commits, and you want them to see. And if it's working perfectly, then you can just merge in their code base. So here all the discussion with the team goes up. As you can see, discuss and review your code. Once the pull request is open, team and reviewing changes may have questions or comments, right? So they will ask everything which is required for their code base. They find everything perfect, they will check the pre-deployment, like final testing in production before merging in main. Okay, so this all happens there. Then after you can see all the things happen. Voila, your PR gets merged and you have made your contribution in the open source. So this was the GitHub flow. Now, as you can see, I said about some of the stuff of the automations. If you look at their pull repositories, sorry, pull request. So you can see this green text, this labels. These are not done manually from a person. If your repository is one and is very small, you can add and you can have it manually. But as your code base grows, it's big, and the collaborator goes up, it becomes problematic to handle everything manually. So here comes the actions part, the GitHub actions. What are the GitHub actions? GitHub actions are the package script to automate tasks in a software development workflow in GitHub. It is configured to trigger complex workflows that meets your organization's need. Each time, developers check new source code into a specific branch at time intervals or manually. As a result, a reliable and systematic automatic workflow, which significantly decrease in development time, which means that these things, when you automate things, things takes less time and it just helps you to increase your productivity. In short, actions provide task automation in the flow functionality in a repository and can be used to streamline processes in new software development lifecycle and implement continuous integration and deployment. As you can see, a huge code base like this, continuous integration is done, you can see, and continuous deployment is also happening then and there. So actions help very much here. So you might want to know why we care for the GitHub actions. Like it might be possible you might think that we can automate stuff from different places also. Then why we opt for GitHub actions? If you look at GitHub actions, first of all, the most important thing is that it is built into GitHub. You don't have to go anywhere else to find some kind of what you can say way to integrate, and then it will help you to do the task. No, it's in then and there on GitHub. You just have to do some scripting and just you are done with the automation part, and it helps you to do multiple testings and multiple continuous integration configurations, like some of the things you want to test, and like it's not possible for you now, like you will test on different OS. So what GitHub actions do, they create if you mention some of the OS which on which you want, it create the instances in the cloud and they do all the stuff. And one of the most important thing what GitHub Actions offers, it's great free plans. If you look about GitHub Actions, um, introduction, no, not this one, github.com/actions. There's something website. Okay, just let me check on Google. I'm not able to find that. So you can see if you search GitHub Actions on Google, first of all comes up the features of the GitHub Actions, which will definitely help you. Then you can understand the GitHub Actions, GitHub documentation, and GitHub learn GitHub Actions. So as you can see, the features which is offered by the GitHub Actions is enormous, numerous. Like you just may feel awe. It says build, test, and push. On push, you can have npm test, npm test on the different types of OS. Hosted runners for every major OS makes it easy to build and test your projects. Run directly on a VM or inside a container. Use your own VMs in the cloud or pump with the self-hosted runners. It's just not restricted to your OS also, but you can have your own created instances. Here comes a matrix build where you can have different type of stuff happening with different type of OS, and this is valid for any language. You can see all the checks that have passed will show up like this, and this is the thing which works at the background. You can have live logs built in secret in multiple testing runners. This is the YAML page. GitHub Actions is adhered to YAML. If you don't know about YAML, you can just Google it out. Then you can see there are lots and lots of repositories working to make your life easy, and you can say simple pay as you go pricing. But the private repositories, they include still stuff like this and the additional hosted 1 minutes. This is for and for public repository it is free, like they don't charge anything on the public repository. So if you want to work and want to know more about actions, you can simply go to GitHub documentation, and GitHub has also lab functionalities. So you can basically check out all the uh, things about GitHub with GitHub documentation. And if you want to like learn more about GitHub actions, like while having the theory part, you can always go to Microsoft Learn pages. So they provide amazing documentation over that. So where you can find GitHub actions, as I said. So let me just go to my uh, wait actions. Okay, I just lost my um, repository. I'll just open up. Okay. So yeah. So this is my repository which I opened up just now. You can see, as I say, where you can find the actions. You can find actions here. If you look at the actions tab, you can see build, test, and deploy your code, make code reviews, branch management, and issue triaging work the way you want. Select a workflow template to get started. Fine. So, like in big repositories or even small repositories, when people are contributing, it's not possible every time to be online and reply. So you can have an automated reply from the GitHub action itself to the opened up issues or pull request. So you can see here, you see the get started. Here is the simple workflow template which is powered by GitHub, and you can set up to get started. And also they deploy your code with these popular services. They give you so many um, to set up in your workflow, and then you can check this out even, like GitHub for what I can say, language based. And this is something that automates every step in a process. Just like I was saying that you can't be online to give every kind of response or something. So if you want to make know the collaborator that you are not offline, you can just make a simple action of that, and you just have it happening when you or someone opens up the PR. So this is the greeting labeler. Labeler is something based on the file changes you can add on the PRs or something, issues and all. Learn about more GitHub actions. You can have the core concept and get started with the documentation. You can also check out the configuring, managing, and language and framework guides. So if you wonder where you can get the GitHub actions. So let me open up the GitHub shows. As I have told you, there were actions maintained over this repository. So if you look at this GitHub folder, here comes everything which GitHub does with the repository. It is the issue template which is being set up uh, for the maintain, like you can say there you want different kinds of template for different kind of issue, right? So you can here mention that. Then here comes the workflows, and in this workflow they have this five YAML uh, files which helps them to set up their workflow, which can be related with the issues or pull request. If you like, let's set up one workflow in our also. So you can see that all the YAML files are under .github/workflows. So it's, I will just do it here only. This is how we integrate a third party action. You can integrate them via GitHub actions only, but I have this pre-made uh, so that we can save up some time. Okay. I guess it was workflows. Yeah, this is workflows. I'm just getting lost in my tabs. Close slash name of your file. Before I name my file, I will just open up this. And this is something, this is a GitHub action which will happen when someone pulls up a pull request, and it will give a comment on that. So GitHub action, I'll just get the name like this only. If this is something I created and I commit a new file on my repository. So yeah, you can see I have created an workflow in my repository. Since after GitHub there is no file extra, so it's directly showing me up the workflows file. So now let's do a change and create a PR within my repository. Yes, you can create a PR in your repository as well. I will do just one thing, that is automatically delete the head branches. This is something I did because as I will create this PR, and if I merge this PR, the branch which will be created, it will get deleted automatically. This is not recommended on big repositories, but in your repository where you want to develop and do stuff on your repository, you can have it. It's completely up to you. I will create a new branch. We'll just propose the changes. You can learn more about the pull request here, and as you can see, we are checking the mergeability. It is able to merge, and you can find sometimes the merge conflicts because of the things which might gone wrong, or it might be happen you didn't pull your code base before pushing. So, and after, because that we will find the error like merge conflict. So if you create the pull request, it will show me all the checks have passed. It shows me like that. Um, git, git guarding security checks, and yeah, that GitHub hacker loss action job. See, if you look at the checks, you can see there's just setting up the job, and all the things will come up, like what is current and all, and they are building up like all the steps which is happening at the background. You can check it here. This is checking out. This is action log. This is completing the process, and shows me it's completed. Yeah, post checkout, and cleaning up the offline process. So yeah, you can see there is one comment. If I look at this comment, you can see the GitHub bot action greeted me. Hi, Falguni, hi, Law School Journey with my username. A random note from the hacker loss repository is a small gift to thank you for opening the PR. Since I've opened this PR, it's giving me a comment, which means that this repository is not dead, it's working. But right now, maintainer is not active, so you just wait for them to be active. So you just don't want to bore the person, so you can just have this action to be working on your repository, and voila, it just works. If I merge this pull request and just confirm the merge, you can see it just says Lost Code Journey, that is me, deleted the Lost Code Journey patch 1 branch now. That means the settings which I did earlier here, this just got activated and deleted my branch. So you can see there is only one branch, but I created two branches because after pull request, that branch got deleted. Now, this is something we talked about GitHub Actions, but we can have some more automation with GitHub, which is not on GitHub, but with your application. And that is I will discuss one only, that is webhooks. And if you want to know what is webhooks, then webhooks are the HTTP callbacks. And they got triggered by some event in a web application and can facilitate integrating different applications or third-party APIs. Webhooks are faster and require less work from your end. So, like you can think webhook as a SMS on your application, which comes up when anything happened when you integrated it with the different thing. So, like when I said SMS, like say your bank sends you an SMS when you make a new purchase. You told your bank your phone number, so they know where to know. Like you told GitHub that where you want to send the message via the payload URL. So it will just show you that just like your bank says that you have spent 10 rupees at this place and send it on your account. Same something happens same ways in your application via this GitHub integration. So what I can show you is the way of how we add GitHub with the webhooks. So you can see this is my private server. So I will just show you. You can see some of the webhook triggered events being happened with my repositories, and the webhook got triggered, and this is the things which I get from the webhook. So you just don't have to be much worried about this. This is very simple to integrate in your Discord. Discord is one of the most popular place you will find different kind of integration to do in happening, and GitHub, and can GitHub along with circuitry and all the stuff, you can use that. So I have this webhook created earlier, but I will create this new one. You don't have to do anything with that, the name or something. Just check out which channel you want to, the place where you want to get your notifications. Then you can just copy the URL. Then you will just go to your repository, go to settings, and you can see there is a tab called webhooks. You say GitHub has also defined a webhook, which is the webhooks allow the external service to be notified when certain events happen. When the specified event happens, we will send a post request to each of the URLs you provided. Learn more in our webhook guide. So you can learn about more in documentation. So I will just add a new webhook. The link which we right now copied is the payload URL. Just a minute, I have to get into my account. Sudo mode. So this is the payload URL which I will add. And one thing which is important, and it is specified by Discord only, that if you want to use anything integrated with GitHub, like for the webhooks, just add at the last /GitHub. This is important, as this will not be detected and you will can get any kind of error with that. Your content type is the application JSON, and the secret, I don't here you don't need any kind of secrets. What kind, and then they ask what kind of events you want to trigger with this webhook. You can have just the push events or just the selective events, but I will just say everything which happens here, and we will deliver the event details when the hook is triggered. So when we add this webhook, you can see, okay, that hook was successfully created. We sent a ping payload to test it out. You can read about that, and I can just wait for a sec, check whether I've got any kind of, okay. So let me just start this repository. So let me check whether I get a, see, I have got a notification saying added new star at GitHub 101. So this is what you can do with webhooks. The webhooks are not are HTTP callbacks. You can, in APIs, what we can do is we make the request and we get the data. But in webhooks, when the events trigger, you can simply just add the links and voila, you're good to go. So we are at the very end of the session. And before we do anything, there are some of the additional resources which can help you to increase your productivity. So there are some of the keyboard shortcuts which is mentioned in GitHub, where you can use to make your productivity increase. Like when you are working in a repository, let me just close tabs. This is something, it is your profile. This is something your repository. And this is something your huge repository where it's easy to show. So first of all, GitHub has it's their latest integration of command palette. So when you press Ctrl plus Shift plus K, you get their command palette where you can open a new code space. You can switch to dark theme, clone repository, then open github.dev editor or everything which you want with a single click of your keyboard. Okay, but you just don't want to go again and again and check out their tabs, right? That you have to just want to stick to your keyboard. So just you can just simply press GI and it will take you to the issues of that particular repository. If you press GP, it will shows the project. GP shows the pull request, and GA shows the action tab. There are many number of shortcuts present here. If you want to search something, just simply press S and this particular input box will get on focus and you can search anything. Along with that, you can use the slash forward slash for the same purpose. You can press escape to remove the focus, and there are many more keyboard shortcuts which is present here. You can check it out like Control C for the GC for the code tab, I, P, A, B, and lots of more. You can just have it. If you are on your profile, just you can, if you press GI, it will take you to the issues of which is associated with you. So you can see there are many type of issues which is open. I have opened up, and it might possible you can have that created tab too. So where you have been assigned and you have been mentioned. Okay, so this is then GP for the pull request you have opened up or you have been mentioned. You can check it out here. There, if there is nothing signed or mentioned, review requests, then you will get this no matching results. Then this is something, this I have told you that code space. You can have your VS Code editor right on your browser, just pressing period on your keyboard. That is the dot. You can see you enter into the development environment of your repository. If you can see, this is setting up your web editor. And you can see VS Code editor is open on your browser. You can see this is right now loading up my stuffs. So you can just do that. And the most important thing which GitHub offers to the students like us for development purpose and to be a software engineer or developer, you can simply search about the GitHub Student Developer Pack. It helps you to have experiences like the virtual event kit and introduction to web. It offers so many things on for you that it helps you to boost your productivity. This is something you need is the student ID card, and if you have the student email ID, then also well and good. But if you don't have one, so you can just do simply with the Gmail address also. So this is something you get benefit from the pack, and you can see it's just not one benefit, but this is like a many benefits you will need to have. This is about Canva and the niche. Even the JetPrince is one of the most used popular IDs. You can have their access to the pro subscription for a year. Then you can get the Microsoft Azure. Then you have the Digital Ocean. Then you can get the Educative. Educative is something you can say a place of learning, and you get the 3 months of 60 plus covering courses covering in demands. You get the powerful GitHub Pro subscription and the name.com, the datacam.tech domains, front-end master is something for web developers. Then for the Git Karen, one month is something you get like in 30 days subscription. Then MongoDB Atom, which is an editor powered by GitHub. then Ripple, then GitHub Campus Expert is something which got very much popular within these months, and you can get access to this only if you have student developer pack. You get the professional plan for 1 year for entire form, and you get the this GitHub desktop and all. So this is not just one, but there are many. You keep scrolling and scrolling, and I don't think so you use all of them, but yeah, it gives you a huge power to your productivity, and this is something the best thing I like about GitHub. I haven't used much except the one given by Bootstrap. I guess that got expired too. So yeah, this is it. You can have, if you have any questions with today's session, you can feel free to add that in chat so that I can know if you have any issues or something. And you can open up your mic also if you want. And I guess everything was I tried my best to tell you everything about GitHub, and I hope you like all. If you have any question, you can please write in the comment chat section, or you can open up your mic and ask me. I will try to write them, address them. If you don't have any questions, you can write that you don't have. Okay, thanks, Shantini. Is there anyone else who wants to ask? I got to know that there are 22 people who were registered didn't have their GitHub account. So if someone from them is there and just got to know, you can ask me so that I can tell. And what else? If that's it, then I can just end. And I will also like to mention two things. First is Digital Ocean every year celebrates open source via Hacktoberfest, which happens in the month of October. So if you are new to GitHub and all, then you should just check it out. This year it's over, but for the next year you can definitely check it out. And if you get along with the GitHub from now onwards, I'm sure you will be able to participate on that. And for information, Hacktoberfest is nothing like you can't just contribute to open source. It's a celebration, as I said. They give swags also, like it's a T-shirt, and like they give T-shirt, and then they give stickers also. So yeah. And second thing, which is recently updated by dev.to, that they are having a hackathon for a month on GitHub Actions. Now, I've just told you that what GitHub Actions do. So you can finally uh, get started with the GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions have so many things in it. You can create your own, and you can just make things automate. So GitHub Actions have two types of like you can create it with two things, like with JavaScript and the Docker. So I will give all the resources in WhatsApp. I will open up the WhatsApp group also, so that if you have any doubts, you can ask there also. But if you have any doubts, you can please open up your mic and ask so that I can address that. And if it's not, I will request everyone to kindly tell me it's like it's good. And I'm for now stopping my sharing. Uh, Folks, if you don't have any doubts, then I will just ask everyone to please switch on your camera so we can have a group session too. Let me just open up my. I think if I'm visible or not, yeah, I'm just looking so bad. But if you want, please.
I'm sitting in darkness.
Hello.
Oh, but you are still looking good. Please, folks, if you come up and then we can have a lecture and then we can share it on socials also. I would like to thank you all for joining this session. I was so nervous at the first, but yeah, I shall stop the recording. Stop the